And now, I shall resurrect Slifer the Sky Dragon!
Oh man, he just brought back an Egyptian god!
Slifer's attack points are determined by the number of cards in my hand. And since I'm holding 4, he now has 4,000 points!
Hey guys, this is Live from Maniac. Guys, it needs to come to an end finally. This is the last deck profile of the Orichalcos arc, and I'm very glad and proud to have built this one so fast. But we are like 2 days away from Christmas Eve, so I wanted to be a little bit hasty, you might say. Yeah, the deck profile I'm currently talking about is none other than the box opening you saw about, which is the deck profile of none other than Dartz. So of course we have to consider, I didn't want to put everything in as 3-offs or 2-offs in here. At some degree I did, but not at all in general. So I made some additions with cards which would fit his theme or support his deck strategy. So let's just jump and dive into it, and then you will discover the secrets of the Dartz deck strategy. So I have to make another confession, which is this deck, if played rightfully, is one of the most powerful decks that I've ever witnessed, with the OP effects in here. Still, I would want to have those cards printed out in the way that they are, but maybe limited to 1, you know what I'm saying? So, let's begin with this monsters. There's nothing much to say about Dartz. Dartz was an ancient king of Atlantis, who then was turned by the Orichalcos stone emanating from the skies and falling into the ground. And yeah, you might say intoxicating the whole of the people, making them evil. And for example, the wife of Dartz even got a ugly face, an ugly face, and also body changed completely. But that just mirrored her soul then, along with the stone, or the influence of the stone. Yeah, and then he tried to collect souls all over 10,000 years. He even encountered old Pharaoh Atem in Egypt, but he tried to challenge him, but there was Yame Bakura, rather to say Bakura the thief, who was trying to overthrow Pharaoh Atem. And Dartz was just there standing watching. Yeah, but anyway, he's the leader of the group of Orichalcos and tries to revive the great Leviathan, of course. And to make to build a new world order. And yeah, his deck, like I said, is very OP. One of the most powerful decks that I ever created with those effects. Yeah, let's just dive into it, I would suggest. First of all, I have in here the Orichalcos Kaiotora, which is in Dark Attribute 4 stars, a rock effect. 500 attack, 500 defense. Now about this effect, because the effect, from the box, from the Dartz box, they didn't translate the effect one by one, so it's a little bit frustrating and irritating. So what I did is by the way, it's the 2-offs, because this one is one of the key monster cards of this deck. What I did was I tried to look up the original effect, and the original effect is every battle damage that you get is reduced to 0 as long as this card remains face up on the field. I knew this one already from the show. And if it's destroyed, or if Kaiotora is destroyed, it automatically summons Orichalcus Shonoros, which is one of the main boss monsters, two boss monsters of this deck. And also, it plays a role by summoning Orichalcus Aristeros and Dexia. Kaiotora can be summoned by you discarding one card from your hand and paying 500 life points, I think it is. Yeah. And you can special summon from the hand. So a very powerful card, because you have to consider that every time you get any battle damage, it's reduced to 0. So, but I don't know how it is destroyed, because I think in the it can be destroyed by battle, I think. So yeah. So it takes all the damage. But also that does have the protecting measure to like it is protected if other Orichalcus monsters are destroyed. Yeah, it's sucking up, you might say, those damages and reduces them to 0. But this one can be attacked. Yeah. Yeah. So if it is destroyed, you can special summon Orichalcus Shonoros from your hand or your deck. So even if it's not destroyed directly, it has good effect. But even if it is destroyed, you still can summon probably the second powerful monster from the whole deck, which is really OP. But still, I would love it to have it with this effect in the TCG. Yeah. So further on, we do have. Yeah, there we go. I want to bring back the theme of this deck profile, I might say. Next up, we have Orichalcus Malevolence on Fire type, 4 stars, 1,500 attack and 0 defense. Once per turn, choose a monster that the opponent is Oh, I have to look it up as well, because they just made it really, really odd. It doesn't make any sense. But I think it works like that. You have to where it is. Where is it? God. Great God. I didn't think that I have to look this one up as well. Yeah, so it can change the battle position once per turn, from monster of an opponent. And it also works with the Seal of Orichalcus. If you get battle damage or effect damage, you can put 500 damage to your opponent, and or sit for one seal of Orichalcos from your hand or your graveyard. And also, if it can be banished from the graveyard in order to block effects of your opponent, as long as you have a level 4-star monster on the field. So I also have this one 2 times in here. And then the next one is so we have next up Orichalcos Gygus, which works like that. If it's destroyed by battle, it returns, I think, onto the standby phase on the next turn, and with 500 points stronger. The Orichalcos Gygus has a dark attribute, 4 stars, 400 attack, 1500 defense. But this one cannot be not attack in the same turn that it has been special summoned from the graveyard. And if it is special summoned back from the graveyard by its own effect, you have to skip your draw phase. So also a little downside, which I think makes the thing more realistically. Now I have those two, which are also key core cards from this deck. Which one of those is Orichalcos Dexia, which is a dark attribute, 3 stars. This one, I forgot about the types. I think those are fiend types. This is a dragon type or rock type. Always. This one is of course a machine type with 0 attack and 0 defense. 3 stars. I already mentioned that. So I have this one also isn't too often here, and I have to read the anime. Oh yeah, the effect that it has. I already organized it. There. Oh, about Dexia. Dexia works like that. It's very, along with Shunoros, it's a very strong effect. That's why I have Shunoros just once time in here. So this one can only be special summoned by the effect of Orichalcos Shunoros. And if Dexia, this one, is in play, and attacks a monster of your opponent, its attack stats during the damage step increase by 300 plus the attack or defense with the opponent that it got. So plus 300. Maybe if it's attacking a monster of your opponent's defense position, the defense of the opponent's monster plus 300. If it's opponent's monster's attack position, its attack plus 300 becomes the attack of not of Aristeros, but of Dexia. But it also got a little downside after the damage calculation. Orichalcos Shunoros loses attack equal to the attack that Dexia had during the damage calculation. So the boost up is decreasing the Orichalcos Shunoros attack stats. And Dexia also has the effect it cannot be destroyed by battle as long as Orichalcos Shunoros is on the field. When Orichalcos Shunoros is destroyed and brought to the graveyard, then Dexia is automatically destroyed too. So also a little bit dependence right there. Dependence. So there you go. Then we have Orichalcos Aristeros. Aristeros. Oh, if I spell it right. Also 2 times in here. Guys, I love it. I love those cards. I would really think it would be cool if we get those cards printed. Aristeros also has a dark attribute with 3 stars with 0 attack and 0 defense. Also a machine type monster. And so its effect works like that. It cannot be destroyed as long as you control Orichalcos Shunoros, and it redirects attacks from your opponent in order to boost up its defense engines by 300 plus the attack or defense of your opponent. So the same like Dexia, but just with the defense stats. And then Shonorus loses attack equal to the defense boost that Aristeros got. Yeah, so also a little downside right there. And it also cannot, it's also only can be special summoned by Orichalcos Shonorus. Yeah, and also the fifth effect is if Orichalcos Shonorus leaves the field, Aristeros is automatically destroyed. So it's got a good redirecting, blocking effect, helping Orichalcos Shonorus to be more powerful than it is before. Yeah, so this is it. Next up is I've made some additions, of course. Like I said, we won't get to 40 cards. Namely, we have in here, or I put in here rather, the Sonic Bird, because we do have Mirror Knight Calling, which is a ritual monster, and I have it as 2 of in here. This is a wind attribute, 4 stars, 1400 attack and 1000 defense. It's a winged beast type. If this card is normal or flip summoned, you can take 1 ritual spell card from your deck to your hand, helping that very engine. Also, Sanju with 1000 hands, a light type, 4 stars, fairy, light attribute, fairy type, 1400 attack, 1000 defense. If this card has been normal or flip summoned, you can choose 1 ritual monster card from your deck, show it to your opponent, and take it to your hand. Your deck is then shuffled. Also, this one helping with the making it more probable to get faster to your ritual spell, and this one to your ritual monster. Then I have the Absorbing Jar in here, an Earth attribute, 3 stars, rock type, 600 attack, 500 defense. Destroy all set spell trap cards on the field. Then each player draws card for each of the cards they control that was destroyed. By this effect, you cannot set any cards this turn. Just the set cards are destroyed. So if the Seal of Orichalcos or 1 face-up continuous spell of Dartz is face-up on the field, it's not destroyed. And it also helps us to get draw power from this deck. Witch of the Black Forest, also a card which helps us, for example, to get cards faster onto your hand, like Kayatora or Malevolence or Geigers or Dexia and Aristeros, or these 2 even, or the Absorbing Jar. Because it's a dark attribute, 4 stars, spellcaster effect, 1000 spellcaster type, 1100 attack, 1200 defense. Of course, if it's destroyed and sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 monster with 1500 defense or lower from your deck to your hand, which all of they do. 1 Magician of Faith of my stance would be also great if, in case Seal of Orichalcos or one of the other continuous spell cards which are making up the key strategy of this deck are destroyed. You can recycle them. Diderus and Tritus, for example, are examples for this scenario. A light type, a light attribute, 1 star, spellcaster type, 300 attack, 400 defense. If it's flipped face up, you can take 1 spell card from your graveyard and add it to your hand. Then I have a Kaiku Ghost Destroyer, dark attribute, 4 stars, spellcaster type, 1800 attack and 700 defense. If this card puts battle damage into your opponent, then you can banish up to 2 cards from his or her graveyard. Also would help to maybe have a destructive engine against your opponent's graveyard, or cards that he or she want to recycle. Why not? So now about Mirror Knight Calling, which I already mentioned. I have 2 times in here. Of course, this card can only be ritual summoned with the I think it is called Orichalcos Mirror. And then the second effect is you can special summon up to 4 Mirror Knight tokens, which are warrior type dog attribute level 1, attack 0, defense 0 with 1 shield counter, which has the effect, if other effect, if 1 token with shield counter attacks, its attack stats until the end phase are equal to the attack stats of your opponent's monster, so it equalizes also. And also it does have a protective mechanism, which is if 1 token with a shield counter is destroyed, the counter is destroyed instead of the token. So there we go. It's very famous what Dartz did with the 4 souls, Yugi, Pegasus, Joey, Mai, and yeah, those 4. And Yugi, Mai, Joey, and Pegasus. Then one card which we witnessed in his hand, but just witnessed in his hand because he didn't really play it out like that. He just discarded it, I think, in order to bring Shonorus, Kayatora out, which is Time Eater, which is one of the only monster cards of all of his monster cards, except for Shonorus and Divine Serpent, which is existing in the TCG but very long time. I think it was Magician's Force or Metal Raiders. Time Eater, Dark Attribute, 6 stars, 1900 attack, 1700 defense, and machine type. This card destroys an opponent's monster by battle. Your opponent skips their next main phase 1. So there we go. So now up to the really important card, you might say, because we do have this card in the TCG, namely Orichalcus Sonorous, but in the anime it works in another way. And as we have mostly anime engines in here, you also have to pretend that this one is working with its anime effect. Everything else would be counter anticlimactic. What would counter a little bit the strategy of this whole deck. So the anime effect is, if Kayatora is destroyed, Orichalcus Sonorous can be summoned. And has a 10,000 attack or something like that in defense. Yeah, and it's this one is on the field. The player cannot lose the match. It can. Oh no, sorry guys. I think this is the effect of the Divine Serpent, because I messed it up a little bit. So it's indestructible. It cannot be destroyed by battle. It cannot be destroyed by spell, trap cards, or effect. It cannot attack, but unless you discard 10 cards from your deck. And the very turn it is summoned, it cannot attack. Yeah. So these are some effects. Okay. Of course, like I said, it works very closely with Aristeros and Dexia. Then we have the Divine Serpent G. Also, this exists, I think, in another version in the TCG, but we will look for the anime effect. That's the whole problem. I have to look up so much, but yeah, it's because those cards are very complicated, and the anime made it complicated effects. So if Orichalcus Shonerus is destroyed, then you can as long as if you have life points and cards in your hand, it is summoned. As long as it is on the field, it can attack infinitely, and its attack are equal to the original attack of the monster with the highest attack on the field. During the damage step, the effect of the attacking monster will be negated, and its attack stats halved onto its original attack. Yeah, and you have to send 10 cards from your deck to your graveyard, which each time this one attacks. And yeah, you also have to pay all of your life points, but this card remains still on the field. So even if you have 0, this one remains on the field, you cannot lose the duel. Yeah, and you have to pay half life points, I think. Or this one is the other one. Okay, I think it's the one in the TCG effect. So this is the monster lineup, guys. You can make pause now and make a picture, or if you want to copy that, and then I want to very fast get into the spells, because this was costing me very much energy, guys, to not to only build this but to explain those effects, because I didn't catch them fully until now myself, because I watched the anime many times, but I didn't catch all of the effects that they had, and not precisely the effects that they had. So I was aware of generally the whole effects may work, but not precisely. Of course, the Seer of Orichalcus we have to have at least 2 times in here, because there are also Dartz and Dartz in here, which are also field spell effects, and you cannot block this. There's just one field spell place, and they will block each other otherwise. All monsters you control get 500 attack, of course. Once per turn, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects, so you control 2 or more face-up attacking position monsters. Your opponent cannot target your monsters with the lowest attack for an attack. If this card is activated, destroy all special monsters you control. You can not special summon monsters from the extra deck. Yeah, but this is, I think, pretty much the TCG effect. Yeah, I think in the anime it even cannot be destroyed at all by spell and trap cards. Then we have Orichalcus Dartz. I have to look this one up as well. I think I might look up. Have to look up another 3 or 4, 5 cards. Yeah, and then I'm almost finished off 5 or 6 cards, because like I said, it's really bad translated. I know Orichalcus Dartz sound kind of boosts Orichalcus, Seal of Orichalcus, but Dartz. So it does give you the opportunity to possibility to use the spell and trap card zones as monster card zones, boosts all monsters, and prevents them from being destroyed, and also prohibits attacks on specific zones. Yeah. And you have to have, for Dartz, you have to have Dartz. and it fusions or combines the effect of Dartz and himself. Yeah. So you have to have Dartz in order to play Dartz. Yeah, I have already mentioned the indestructible monster engines and also the transformation from spell and trap zones into monster zones. And monster zones cannot be attacked, the original ones, as long as you have monsters in them. And also attack gives a 500 attack boost. Yeah, and its effects cannot be negated, so very great. Let's just try this here. So Dartz, we have Dartz. So you have to have the seal of Orichalcus on the field in order to play Dartz, which doesn't make that much sense but yeah, I think the field spell card is you can also play then the normal spell or trap card zones, otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. Works also with Dartz. You get 500 life points for each monster that you control. And if your opponent attacks, you can offer one monster as a tribute in order to destroy the attacking monster. And all the effects of spell, traps, or monsters that choose your monster as a target or affects them are negated, and the cards are being destroyed. Very strong. The combination of those cards, of those three, are very much impossible, you might say. So it's very OP, like I said already, but yeah, here we go. Yeah, on the other side, guys, you have to consider that this is like really like an final foe that we have to face, so it is clear that this one has to be very difficult to beat, but still sometimes a little bit OP, I would say. So Orichalcus Sword of Sealing, and the group spell card. All your monsters get 500 attack. You can shift monsters from your monster zone to your spell and trap zone, and they cannot be targeted as attack targets, as they are literally in their monster zone, normal monster zones. And if your opponent's monster attacks, then you tribute one monster in order to destroy the attacking monster. And this card cannot be destroyed by any card effects. And this card is also can be played as a seal of Orichalcus, so it works like the seal of Orichalcus, and then copies their effect. Yeah. Then I have Dartz. We didn't see that much cards of spell cards of Dartz. We saw some, but not that much. But even few, we have just saw entirely one trap card. So we of course do have did watch more spell cards. So Impact Revive has the gives you the option that one monster that's been destroyed during that turn can be special summoned, and then gets 500 attack increase, and you can attack twice a row. This is a quick spell card, by the way. Yeah, there we go. Then we have Twin Bow Centaur, It's a Quintilius spell card. I have to look this one up as well. Love the artwork, by the way, very cool. I'm Sagittarius, so I love the artwork like that. It's got some words per turn effect. You cannot attack in the very turn that you activated this card. And once per turn, choose one monster that you control, one monster that your opponent controls. You have to throw a coin. If you choose it right, the opponent's monster is been banished from the field, and your opponent gets damage equal to the original attack of the monster. If you do it wrong, your own monster has been banished, and you get damage equal to the original attack of the monster. A very risky effect. You might all have a little bit leaning on all the risk cards with Joey Wheeler choose in the whole of the anime. Then last but not least, from spell cards, we have of course Orichalcos Mirror, which is the ritual spell card in order to bring out your Mirror Knight calling. A card with a level of 6 or higher on the handle and at a total of 6 or more is used to sacrifice 6 stars or more. There we go. So the additions that I made from the spell cards. One Swords of Revealing Light, of course, you can your opponent cannot attack for 3 turns, and this card remains face up on the field. I want to get back to music, guys, because it's too quiet for me. I love it more with the music. It's like giving me more motivation. Oh, guys, it's driving me crazy. Okay, let's bring it back to music. There we go. So I made another addition, which is Monster Reincarnation. We do want to have the recycle effect in here. Of course, if you discard one card, you can take one card from your monster card from your graveyard and return it to your hand. I put in there one Night Beam, which is of course you can choose one set spell or trap card that your opponent controls, destroy it, and your opponent cannot negate or not react or choose react to the activation of this card, or cannot play the very card as a reaction to this card's activation. Night Beam, first time that I have in some deck. Fissure, of course, you destroy one monster card with the lowest attack of your opponent's monsters. Pot of Greed for more drawing power in order to destroy to draw 2 cards. And also the Greed and all those things, attributes play very much to Dartz' favor, because he is also insinuating that all people are evil, so Pot of Greed would be very fitting to him. Onto his deck. Monster Reborn, you can special summon one monster from either the player's graveyard in face-up attack or face-up defense position. Nobleman has cross-out because this card or this deck is very much offensive in nature and has strong attack engines, and if your opponent maybe then has a defensive posture, you can banish his or her face down defense position monster, and all of the of all the monsters with the same name from the deck. I think it is. Yeah. Now it's a view if you do. So those were the spell cards. You might pause it here, take a picture, and then continue on. Let's get into the traps. So the first trap card is what the one and only trap card which we saw from Dartz in being playing out. So already opened it. So where is it? Where is it? There it is. I put this one as a 2 of in here. So Melta Curse. There we go. When a monster you control is destroyed, force one of your monsters and your opponent's monster to battle. At this time, your opponent can activate their monster's effect. A very cool effect. Wilby reminds me on last turn. I don't know which of you guys still remembers this card because it's banned until today. Not in the Genesis format though. It wasn't banned until, I don't know, last time I think. Yeah. And then I made also some additions, of course. One Magic Drain, because it's really, on the artwork, looks like someone's draining a soul. It's a counter trap card. Of course, you can negate the activation of a spell card. Unless your opponent can discard one spell card, the activation of the spell card that he activated or you negated is negated. Yeah. Negate one activation of one opponent's spell card and destroy it. Your opponent can discard one spell card to negate this card's effect. Then I have one cloning in here. I thought, why not? To like an equalize. I know this is an original Kaiba card, but still, if your opponent summons one monster with a level as a normal flip summon, you can choose a monster and summon one clone token with the same type, attribute, level, attack, and defense as the chosen monster as a special one. If the chosen monster is destroyed and brought to the graveyard, you also destroy this card. Then I have one bottomless trap hole. Why not have something like this in here? Of course, if your opponent summons one monster with 1,500 attack or more, you can destroy it, and if you do, banish it instead of bringing it into the graveyard. Then I have Banishing Trap Hole, which if your opponent summons one or more monsters with 1,500 attack or fewer, you can also can banish them. So it's like a little bit like this one, just for multiple monsters. Then, last but not least, I have how it's called, General Destruction or something like that. Yeah, if a monster of your opponent declares one attack, you destroy one monster an attack position with the highest attack and your opponent control. If the equal monsters with the equal attack stats, then you choose. Yeah, and last but not least, the negate attack, of course, you can end the battle phase right away. So guys, this is I think my 43 43 card Dartz deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like it, the subscribe button, show me some love. Stay tuned for more content of this kind, and of course, the Orichalcos arc is finally finished with this deck profile. I had very much fun and pleasure building these. It is my favorite arc of all times, not only in Duel Monsters but in Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, as I can judge it, because like I said, I only saw the Duel Monsters era and the GX, I didn't watch 5Ds fully, just 1 or 2, 3 episodes, something like that. So until now, it is my favorite arc. I think it will be still, and it would be very great if Konami continues to bring out the cards from this very arc as they are doing right now, because they are they're releasing one card, which is Circle of the Underworld, a very strong one, I have to admit, and they are not errataing it until now. I don't like erratas, to be honest. They can banish or ban it, yeah, but do not errata it, because we want to play it like the cards originally were, at least most of us. Yeah, and other than that, I don't know what to add to that, because it's also a release at the same time, because I was very much craving to end this arc, or to get to the other as quickly as I could, because I was very busy, been very busy, and the last 3 months, you might say. It took me a very long time to finish this arc. I started it, I think, like 3 or 4 months ago. So I was very slow pacing with this arc. I think with Battle City I was faster, even if it was like, I think, double the amount of deck profiles that I had to make. And so the Orichalcos arc is a little bit more complicated, but of course, because we do not have most of the cards in the TCG, and also the effects of many cards like in Dartz deck are very much complicated, and I didn't know them precisely. With Alistair, the problem or the case was that we did not have the Sky Fortress Sigurith, and we are very much lacking more of your like 9 or 10 spell and trap cards as well, and monster cards, some of them. So it's very hard to build a balanced deck. We cannot build at all, because we have just 2 spell cards from his whole deck, not in a single monster card in the TCG. And I didn't want to build from scratch, because like make it out like from anything. And Dart's deck, of course, partly also were TCG cards that I added, but we had at least cards like Orichalcos Shunrus and the Divine Serpent G, which are existing in the TCG. I just didn't use those TCG effects. I used the anime effects instead, because I did want, or my desire was that Dart's deck still be that good that it was in the anime. But there are still so many cards like Orichalcos Kayatara, or Gygas, or Malevolence, or Dexia and Aristeros, or maybe the Mirror Knight Calling, which really would boost this deck. And also the spell cards, the Twin Both Santa, or the Impact Revive, Orichalcos Sword of Sea, but especially Tridus Daedalus would be very cool. Yeah, but this is it, guys. It is finally done. What can I say? It's really like also it's a release for me. It's like a burden lifting from my shoulder as well, because of very much work behind all of that. But at the same time, I'm a little bit sad, and also I'm not pitying myself, but I'm like, I'm sad, and I'm like, I wished that this could continue, but at the same time it was enough. We have to continue and get into the next one, the championship arc, which is not, I would say it's even my least favorite, because the virtual world is very cool, very iconic. The Battle City, of course, in Orichalcos is my favorite. Duelist Kingdom I didn't do, because I didn't like the rules very much, and we have so much OP monsters, it's not that much playable. But we have to consider that the tribute summon system is not intact in the Duelist Kingdom, and that didn't like that at all, because in the TCG it was always like that with tribute summoning, and so I let it out. But yeah, it's championship arc is my least favorite, not in terms from the duels, but in terms from the storyline. It's like, oh my god, why Kaiba has to release another tournament, and then it's like, okay. It's very much you might say, a profane, down-to-earth problem, company owner is jealous of the other company. It's very much like in this world, but it's not that problem because I do like it if it's much relatable. But I have to admit, in Yu-Gi-Oh, I specifically love the mystic sides and also the ecological sides of it, because like Atlantis is my favorite field of interest, considering ecology. So yeah, and then of course with the touch of the Egypt mystical, which is my second favorite. I love that. It's just perfect for me. And the championship arc has some great duels like the Solomon Muto against Joe Wheeler, or maybe the Siegfried against Kaiba, which I do love about the championship arc is that the Northern mythology, the Nordic mythology, also comes into play with all the monsters which Siegfried has in his deck. And also, I love fairy tales from the Brother Grimm since I was a child, and the fairy deck from Leon von Schroeder is made mostly of those Grimm's fairy tales monsters. So I do love it very much. It's a very cool arc, but still, Orichalcos is my favorite, and then next to it, the Battle City. Then I would even say Dawn of the Duel, because Dawn of the Duel is very iconic. But yeah, I have to admit, Dawn of the Duel, I do love only the duels. I also love the story with Atem, but it's very dragging and very slow pacing. I don't like that at all. So in two different ways, I do not like either stories from Championship arc or the last one. Until the moment where Atem plays against Yugi, or Yamabakura plays against Seto Kaiba, or Yamabakura plays against Lil Yugi. So it's then those duels are that much more iconic than the duels in the championship arc, that it kind of overflows or even petrifies, you might say, the duels or storyline in the championship arc. So still, if it's my least favorite, I think it's great and I love it. For example, we also get to see the Dark Paladin the second time, which Yugi plays out against Vivian Wong. Yeah, as I said, we will be continuing. There will be also Let's Talk About It. And I will then go more into the story, dive more into the story, and make a little bit of storytelling and backgrounds and lore, like always. I hope you guys have a nice, good morning, a good midday, a good afternoon, a good evening, whenever and wherever you might witness this one. This is me, your Slifer Maniac, and then a big peace.